Hi, I'm Ashley and welcome to my channel. I'm a homeschooling mom with 4 kids, soon to be 5. I homeschool my almost 9-year-old who's in 3rd grade, my 7-year-old who's in 2nd grade, and my 4-year-old jumps in for preschool here and there. And then we also have a very busy 1-year-old who always keeps us on our toes, and then of course the baby on the way. This channel is all about sharing our homeschool journey and in-depth reviews, walkthroughs, and just tips and tricks to make homeschooling that much more enjoyable and doable. If you've been thinking about homeschooling but have no idea where to get started, you're definitely not alone. The whole process of getting started can feel very overwhelming, but the good news is that it's not that difficult. Even though it can feel very overwhelming between the choices of curriculum, legal things that you need to be aware of, it all seems very complicated and scary, but it's much simpler and it doesn't have to be complicated. In this video, I'm going to walk you through practical tips and just kind of help you get an understanding of how and where to begin, and also just to encourage you that you can do this and it'll be great. Okay, so step number 1. You are going to want to find out if your state or where you live have any legal requirements that you are obligated to fulfill. Every state has different laws, and so it's really important that you get that stuff figured out before you get started. I really discourage going to Facebook groups, even if they're a homeschool group in your local community or in your state. I discourage just going to those social media pages and relying on what the mamas in there are saying, because sometimes information changes, sometimes not everybody is perfectly informed. And so to be perfectly informed and have all of the most accurate, up-to-date information you need, I recommend going to either your Department of Education's website or another official government website that will list out all of the requirements for homeschooling in your area. For example, in my state, I'm required to do a certain amount of school days. So we're required to do 172 school days, averaging about 4 hours every day. I have to file a notice of intent with a school district in our state, letting them know every year that I am planning on homeschooling, and then just giving like my kids basic information like their names and ages and things along those lines. There's also record keeping, attendance, things like that, and then also some states do require standardized testing and things along those lines as well. So you just want to have an idea of what is legally required of you before you get started so that you know you are good to go. Step number 2. This one I'm going to kind of put with a different step as well. So this is kind of like step 2, step 3, but kind of get an idea of what you want your homeschool to look like and start picking curriculum. This one can feel very overwhelming, but I just want to let you know that it's okay to change your mind about things. It's okay to try things and things not work out and then go a totally different direction. That is very normal, and we all do it. It's totally fine. Just because you start something and it's not working out doesn't mean you're failing. It doesn't mean that it's not going to work out. It just means that maybe it's not the right fit for you. So decide, do you want to do more of a classical style of homeschool? Do you want like a very like by the book kind of homeschool? Do you want like a very free, open kind of homeschool? or a Charlotte Mason. There's lots of different styles, and there's no right or wrong way to do it. You just need to pick something, a style that works well for you as the teacher and for your kids' learning. So there's lots of different things out there. Lots of people do like unit studies. They do one big curriculum that's all open and go, and it has everything in it. So you can purchase like whole kits where it has everything you need from math, science, literature. It just has it all in there, and you just buy it and you have everything you need for the whole school year. Other people do totally different, where they piece it all together and they do unit studies and they do different things. So you just have to kind of pick and choose what works for you. But also just be aware that your style may change. You might start something and then get going in it and realize that it doesn't work for you, or you don't like it as much as you thought you would, and that's perfectly fine. And I understand. It's not fun to spend a bunch of money on things and then you don't finish it, but you can always try to resell it. And at the end of the day, something that I always keep in mind is I see curriculum as an investment in my children's future. And so, yeah, I might have spent $100 on something and we're not going to finish it because it's not working for us. So why push through just to say we finished it and we didn't waste $100? Or why feel guilty that it didn't work? Or why not spend the money on it because you might not use it or you might not like it? You just kind of have to get an idea. And in the beginning, I do recommend trying to figure out like what kind of style you like, what kind of style your kids likes. Maybe try buying secondhand curriculum that's a little bit cheaper so that you can try different styles out. Just pick something that works for you, try it out, see how it goes. Also, YouTube has tons of there are so many amazing resources out there where you can start looking through curriculum, you can get an idea, you can join Facebook groups. There's tons of different resources for you to kind of get an idea of what may or may not work before you actually make the investment. On my channel, I have walkthroughs where I actually walk you through a school day or at least a lesson of a curriculum. And then that way you get to kind of see how it works, how I teach it, the style, if it's something, then you get an idea, you get a picture of, would you enjoy that? Would it work for you? Would it work for your kids? And then right then and there, are you still interested, or are you ready to move on and look for something new? Tons of groups that you can join on Facebook for different curriculums where you can ask questions and get a better idea of how things work as well. So there's lots of other things out there to help you kind of in that research process, getting started picking a curriculum and a style. The next step would be creating kind of like an academic calendar or a routine. So deciding what, for us, I know we have to do 172 days of school. And so then I kind of map that out. When do we start school? When do we take breaks? When do we finish school? And just kind of planning out our academic calendar for the school year so that it's not August and I'm going, oh, when do we start school? Should we have already started? When will we finish? Can we take a break during Christmas, or do we have to push through and just keep going because I messed up and didn't think about a calendar or how many days or all that kind of thing? So it's really helpful to kind of lay out your school year before you get started so that you have it laid out, you have it planned, and you're not panicking at the last minute. Expect an adjustment period. Expect that there will be adjustments that need to be made and that will be made. Give yourself grace, give your kids grace, change things up if you need to, take a break if you need to. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to say, I need a day to just decompress and for everybody to reset. That's totally fine and acceptable. And so just know that homeschooling is flexible. It's one of the best things about homeschooling. You can be so flexible. And it doesn't mean that you have to be loosey-goosey, but it does mean that you have flexibility. And if it's like, you know what, today, mentally, I am not there. I'm frustrated. It's going nowhere. Just stop, reset, get going again. Same thing with curriculum. If you need to completely reset your curriculum, do that. If you need to rethink your daily schedule, do that. You know, there's been times where I'm like, okay, this schedule is not working for us anymore. We need to find a different time to homeschool because what used to work is not working because now the baby doesn't nap during that time of day anymore. And so I have a lot more interruptions. Things like that happen. You just have to kind of go with the flow and start changing things up until you get back into your groove. Homeschooling doesn't always look perfect, and that's okay. Give yourself grace and give your homeschool grace and be willing to change things up and throw the rule book out the window and start over. My last step or point is simply this. You can do it. It does not have to be overwhelming. It does not have to be difficult. It does not have to be complicated. You can make it as difficult or as simple as you want it to be. And then you have to just find what works for you. That is once again the beauty of homeschooling. You get to tailor fit your child's education to the needs of each child as an individual and as your family as a whole. And so if something isn't working, it's not working, toss it out the window. If something's going great, keep it up. And it doesn't matter, you don't have to wait until the end of the school year because unless your state has very specific, you must start and end by these dates. You can homeschool year round to have more flexibility. You can homeschool in chunks throughout the year. It's so amazing. Homeschooling is amazing. And so you just have to make it fit you. It's so much fun and it's so amazing. So just because your homeschool doesn't look like somebody else's, that's okay. Because I guarantee you, we're not all homeschooling the exact same way. My homeschool does not look the exact same way somebody else's looks, and it's not going to look just like yours. They might be similar or they could be drastically different. But at the end of the day, are we successfully teaching our kids life skills, important things that they need to know, and setting them up for success in their future and for their life. But I hope you found this video helpful. And if there's one thing that I hope you were able to take away from it, is that you do not have to have it all figured out in the beginning. Homeschooling is something that you grow into. It's something that you learn along the way. It's something that you're able to fit and change and adapt to what works for you and your family. And so I hope that after this, homeschooling feels a little less overwhelming and a little more exciting. And I want you to know that you can do it and to not get scared because it's so worth it. If you have any questions or anything that maybe you want more explanation on or something that I didn't even touch on, leave me a comment and I would be happy to do a Q&A video answering any questions that you might have on some more specifics. But thank you so much for watching and happy homeschool journey.